I am a cultural omnivore, one whose daily commute is made possible by attachment to an iPod that contains Wagner and Mozart, pop diva Christina Aguilera, country singer Josh Turner, gangster rap artist Kirk Franklin, concerti, symphonies, and more. I'm a voracious reader, a reader who deals with Ian McEwan down to Stephanie Meyer. I have read the Twilight tetralogy, and one who lives for my home theater. A home theater where I devour DVDs, video on demand, and for a lot of television. For me, Law & Order SVU, Tina Fey and 30 Rock, and Judge Judy. The people are real, the cases are real, the rulings are final. Now, I'm convinced a lot of you probably share my passions, especially my passion for Judge Judy, and you'd fight anybody who attempted to take her away from us. But I'm a little less convinced that you share the central passion of my life, a passion for the live professional performing arts. Performing arts that represent the orchestral repertoire, yes, but jazz as well, modern dance, opera, theater, and more. You know, frankly, it's a sector that many of us who work in the field worry is being endangered and possibly dismantled by technology. While we initially heralded the internet as the fantastic new marketing device that was going to solve all our problems, we now realize that the internet is, if anything, too effective in that regard. Depending on who you read, an arts organization or an artist who tries to attract the attention of a potential single-ticket buyer now competes with between 3,000 and 5,000 different marketing messages a typical citizen sees every single day. We now know, in fact, that technology is our biggest competitor for leisure time. 5 years ago, Gen Xers spent 20.7 hours online and TV, the majority on TV. Gen Yers spent even more, 23.8 hours, the majority online. And now a typical university entering student arrives at college already having spent 20,000 hours online and an additional 10,000 hours playing video games. A stark reminder that we operate in a cultural context where video games now outsell music and movie recordings combined. Moreover, we're afraid that technology has altered our very assumptions of cultural consumption. Thanks to the internet, we believe we can get anything we want, whenever we want it, delivered to our own doorstep. We can shop at 3 in the morning or 8 at night, ordering jeans tailor-made for our unique body types. Expectations of personalization and customization that the live performing arts, which have set curtain times, set venues, attendant inconveniences of travel, parking, and the like, simply cannot meet. And we're all acutely aware what's it going to mean in the future when we ask someone to pay $100 for a symphony, opera, or ballet ticket, when that cultural consumer is used to downloading on the internet 24 hours a day for 99 cents a song or for free. These are enormous questions for those of us that work in this terrain. But as particular as they feel to us, we know we're not alone. All of us are engaged in a seismic, fundamental realignment of culture and communications. A realignment that is shaking and decimating the newspaper industry, the magazine industry, the book and publishing industry, and more. Saddled in the performing arts as we are by antiquated union agreements that inhibit and often prohibit mechanical reproduction and streaming, locked into large facilities that were designed to ossify the ideal relationship between artist and audience most appropriate to the 19th century, and locked into a business model dependent on high ticket revenues where we charge exorbitant prices. Many of us shudder in the wake of the collapse of Tower Records and ask ourselves, are we next? Everyone I talk to in performing arts resonates to the words of Adrienne Rich, who in Dreams of a Common Language wrote, "We are out in a country that has no language, no laws. Whatever we do together is pure invention. The maps they gave us are out of date by years." And for those of you who love the arts, aren't you glad you invited me here to brighten your day? Now, rather than saying that we're at the brink of our own annihilation, I prefer to believe that we are engaged in a fundamental reformation. A reformation like the religious reformation of the 16th century. The arts reformation, like the religious reformation, is spurred in part by technology, with indeed the printing press really leading the charge on the religious reformation. Both reformations are predicated on fractious discussion, internal self-doubt, and massive realignment of antiquated business models. And at heart, both Reformations, I think, were asking the questions, who's entitled to practice? How are they entitled to practice? And indeed, do we need anyone to intermediate for us in order to have an experience with a spiritual divine? Chris Anderson, someone I trust you all know, editor-in-chief of Wired magazine and author of The Long Tail, really was the first for me to nail a lot of this. He wrote a long time ago, thanks to the invention of the internet, web technology, minicams and more, the means of artistic production have been democratized for the first time in all of human history. In the 1930s, if any of you wanted to make